They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is, then graduated to you're racist if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election, they got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president. I used to think that the woke were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that Trump isn't dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought y'all were tolerant, thought we were equals. I thought you valued how everyone feels. Then why are y'all celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed. Told us trust the science, but it never made sense to me. Why would we put all our trust in the enemy? Millions of people are hooked on amphetamines. They're making billions on untested remedies. Borders are open to people with felonies. Biden can't stop them. He don't have the energy. Y'all want to kill the man trying to fight for a better tomorrow by making him Kennedy? I tried to give y'all a chance. Like maybe the left isn't nuts. I was wrong. Cause y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all along. Wanna protest? Go hard. Wanna burn flags? Go off. But y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all the terrorists when you're armed. Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Shut up immediately.
This is my first time talking, I think, since Trump was inaugurated. I dropped a couple videos. I put up a best moments from the inauguration speech. I believe I just cut out a lot of the standing ovations. I mean, I let it go, the ones that counted, but cut out a lot of that the bull crap in between for you for your viewing pleasure. You can check that out if you want. But yeah, in this video, we're gonna check out what these pardons mean. A lot of people, Alan Dershowitz is gonna say it best in a little bit here. So Alan Dershowitz is gonna talk a little bit about how the pardons don't mean immune from talking, and actually, if they're questioned, it makes them not immune to perjury. So if they're asked, if Biden ever has to come and you know under oath talk to Congress or the Senate ever again about who the big guy is. If he lies, they can investigate the perjury and his lies, and if that uncovers whatever it uncovers, yeah, if it's outside of that blanket pardon period, that he'll get in trouble for that. Alan Dershowitz will explain it better, but we're gonna check out a little bit of that and a little bit of talking about how it could be a little bit of a trap for some of these people to take these pardons, with still being able to be called by Congress. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm sure Alan Dershowitz knows more than me, and you probably both of us put together. So we'll let him talk about it a little bit. Maybe check out a couple other things. But I don't know how you like this timeline. New car smell. It smells good in here. It's like little piney, little new car, little I don't know, it feels good. Does it feel good? You winning? You tired of winning yet? I'm not. I'm ready. You ready? All right. For the pardon gate, let's ask Joe and Kamala. You know, whenever they were incoming to the presidency in 2020, 2021, let's ask them, Trump, he was gonna preemptively pardon his kids and his family members. Wouldn't that be corrupt? Ugh, that'd be so bad. Let's ask them and other Democrats what preemptive blanket pardons would be from Donald Trump for his family. Let's see. Do you think maybe there'll be a little bit of hypocrisy? Maybe a little double standard? I don't know. Let's see.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons.
We created
Does this
it.
concern you? All these preemptive
It's totally
pardons?
made up.
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons. Nor are you going to see in our administration the approach to making policy by tweets You know, it's just going to be a totally different way in which we approach the justice system.
And you might want to gargle my ball sack.
So just to remind you, the rumor mill was swirling at this time, saying that Trump was going to preemptively pardon everyone in his family and all of his kids and all this horrible stuff. You know, and as far as rumor mill goes, I mean anonymous sources that are never confirmed or authenticated whatsoever at all. And then, you know, reality tells you Trump never did any of those pardons and never set that precedent that they're talking about. But what did Joe Biden do? He just said he's not going to go with blanket immunity and blanket pardons, and his administration, our administration, won't do anything like that. That's ridiculous. Only corrupt people do that. Oh, he won't do that, and he won't be tweeting things. Dude resigned and stepped down from his campaign and running for a second term via Twitter. Okay, next.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
Like, I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
A few years later.
It's a Fox News alert. President Biden, this just came across, just issues new pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci. You could call these preemptive pardons. Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired four-star General Mark Milley. This just happened moments ago. It also includes the members of Congress and staff who served on the Select Committee and the U.S. Capitol, and D.C. Metropolitan Police officers who testified before the Select Committee. This as Trump prepares to take the oath of office in just a few hours.
Would that include Liz
Cheney? So
what a mess.
No, it doesn't. I guess,
Committee?
Yeah, Select Committee.
The whole select.
But what does it say? Mark Milley, who is chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under both Biden and Trump, you know that
100%.
what he's done in the past. You know that he was calling China, trying to putting down President Trump.
I mean, what are they afraid that Pete Hegseth is going to see when he goes to the Defense Department and look at the files and data? There's been no talk of going after Anthony Fauci.
Well, Rand Paul is.
There may have been some senators, but the president himself has not said he wants to prosecute
and here's
Anthony Fauci.
Absolutely right. And here's the thing. You pardon somebody who's been convicted.
Right.
They haven't been
There's a
convicted.
confession.
They haven't been charged. This is crazy. It will be interesting to read the exact language, and because it just broke, we haven't seen it yet.
Crazy, but this is my interpretation of a pardon. A pardon is for somebody who has been fully investigated. We know everything that they've done. They've been convicted, and the president is showing mercy on that person for one reason or another. Whatever reason it is, it is. I didn't know that a pardon can be used as an obstruction of justice to stop all investigations for us to never find out what anyone did. So what is to stop any future president from administering surrogates to commit crimes in their name for their campaign, for whatever the case is, commit any crimes whatsoever at all, murder, who knows, anything. And then on the minute before they walk out of office, give them blanket pardons for the last 4 years that they were in office when that person was out there committing murder or whatever it is. Now you're not allowed to investigate them for anything. We're not even allowed to know what crimes they even committed. That's not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. This needs to go to Supreme Court. This president cannot be set. This is going to be very, very bad for our country going forward. And then let's just get ready for the double standards and hypocrisy to say that somehow this is Trump's fault. All these pardons and this ridiculous president that, Joe Biden at this point, let's just be honest, he has disgraced himself. This is disgusting.
Disgusting!
If you can't investigate and see what they did, how do we know that they need mercy? How do you know to give that person mercy if you don't even know what they did? What if they raped and murdered, a dozen people, and your investigation will not unveil that? But then you go, well, I don't even want you looking into them because because the incoming administration is just so dangerous. I have to pardon this murderer. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how you can give mercy to someone for something that you don't even know what they did. And then, don't worry, guys. Joe Biden said he wanted to make this clear. These pardons are not an admission of guilt. In his eyes, these people didn't even do anything wrong. So to be clear, so don't worry. Everything's fine.
Here's Jamie Ratskin, who was on the January 6th committee, saying that the only people who need preemptive pardons are those who are guilty of crimes. And of course, well, like I said, he got one.
Well, the seeking of pardons is powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble. And that's what's so shocking about this.
Congressman Adam Schiff, pencil neck, who received one of the preemptive pardons for any and all crimes that he may have committed over the last decade that are known and unknown, had this to say when the rumors were rampant that Donald Trump was going to do such thing, which again, he never did.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Every single accusation is an admission of their own guilt.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes.
I wonder what these politicians and that lady's talking about to continue the trend from every no one watching my wildfire video where I read a little bit of an article to you to teach you some stuff. Every no one loved that. So here, I'll make it very clear for everyone. This lady and these politicians talking about if Trump would have done it, how bad it would have been, and all the things they're saying. Look, I'll fix it. Joe Biden said, and I quote, this is directly in the statement for the pardons. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that they engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense. So, what are they talking about? Joe just said it right there. It's fixed, right? Everything's fine. What are you talking about?
Biden is handing out pre-pardons that essentially are an admission of guilt, or at the very least, this is what Democrats were arguing when they were talking about Trump issuing pre-pardons for his kids and others, right? Which, again, Biden did go out of his way to pardon his son, Hunter, and now he is pardoning all of these other people, okay? According to Democrats, this is obstruction of justice.
So the president's pardon of Scooter Libby, Congressman, has inspired you to propose new legislation. What exactly would it do?
What it would do is say that in the event the president pardons anyone in an investigation in which the president is a witness, a subject, or the target, those investigative files will all be turned over to the Congress. The Congress ought to know whether the president is using the pardon power to obstruct justice. The American people have a right to know.
What are you doing?
I think it is clearly constitutional. It doesn't prohibit him from granting a pardon, even a pardon he shouldn't grant. But it does say that we will be able to at least find out whether the president is using this power to shield himself from liability.
It offers transparency at the very least.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Don.
A Fox News alert. The Department of Justice has released Special Counsel David Weiss's scathing report on Hunter Biden.
In it, Weiss defends his probe that found that the president's son made millions of dollars off his last name and political connection, then failed to pay his fair share of taxes.
Peter Doocy joins us live from the White House with the latest. Hey, Peter.
And a look at recent history, we remember that the heart of President Biden's pardon of his son was that he accused the special counsel, David Weiss, of singling Hunter Biden out. Now David Weiss is saying that the president was wrong to say that. A quote from last night's report, other presidents have pardoned family members, but in doing so, none have taken the occasion as an opportunity to malign the public servants at the Department of Justice based solely on false accusations. The biggest problem the special counsel Weiss has with Hunter is that he didn't pay $1.4 million in taxes over a 5-year stretch. Weiss says those are not inconsequential tax violations and that Mr. Biden made his money by using his last name and connections to secure lucrative business opportunities such as a board seat at a Ukrainian industrial conglomerate, Burisma Holdings Limited, and a joint venture with individuals associated with a Chinese energy conglomerate. He negotiated and executed contracts and agreements that paid him millions of dollars for limited work.
Ding, 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 motherfucker! I've always agreed with Mark Dice that from the Democrats, every accusation from them is an admission of guilt. Everything they're accusing you of is just projection. It's what they're doing. It's just super obvious. Hillary sold Russia uranium, and then, years later, she accuses Trump of being in bed with Russia. Meanwhile, she's the only one that's ever really done anything with Russia. And then you find out that she's buying dirt on Trump in the form of the Steele dossier. It was actually her the entire time. Wasn't Trump. Trump, it was her. It never fails. Biden kept saying how terrible Trump is, and he's going to weaponize the DOJ. He's going to go after his political opponents. Can you believe he's going to do that? He said he might do that. And then that's what they did to Trump the entire time. They said Trump's going to preemptively pardon his family. That's an admission of guilt. They're clearly guilty of a bunch of crimes if he does that. Can you believe he's going to do that? All from anonymous source garbage, rumor mill junk and nothing came to be. Nothing happened. Trump didn't do that. And then now, guess what? Biden has to do preemptive pardons on his entire family and everyone that did dirt against Trump because Trump is going to come after them again or something. And it's just like, Trump never came after you to even begin with. Him saying that people need to be investigated is because they committed crimes, and then you give them whatever, dude. Funniest part about everything that they do is it's all Trump's fault, right? Trump was going to do preemptive pardons on his family, and they said only criminals would do that. Only if they're guilty of crimes. He can't do that. He can't set that precedent. I'll make a new law that says that if he does, then we're going to look all into that. We're going to go crazy going into that. And then Biden preemptively pardons a whole bunch of people and a bunch of Democrats, and then guess whose fault it is? It's Trump's fault. It's because Trump's so dangerous that I have to pardon all these people. But hey, let me make this clear. They definitely aren't guilty of any crimes. I'm doing this because Trump. Okay, if you buy that, okay.
Been offered. There are 4.5 hours left in President Biden's presidency. Claire, it'll be interesting to see if they take them.
It makes me sad. It makes me sad. First of all, it sets a precedent. Can you imagine the list 4 years from now? Not good. And frankly, it shows that we have gotten to the point that we no longer trust the institutions of our courts to fairly administer the laws. Because I think the people who say I don't want a pardon are saying that because they know factually there is no evidence to do anything to them. So I get it, and I'm not being critical of the president for doing it, but it's sad. It is very, very sad, and it's another blow to the institution of rule of law in this country.
Yeah, I mean, she's an absolute lunatic. What do you mean? She's like, oh, I won't be critical. I'm not going to be critical of the president because could you believe the list that Trump's going to have in 4 years? Ugh. What? Why don't you deal with what actually she's already fantasizing about what she can be upset about if and when Trump does something. Why don't you be outraged now? You absolute piece of dog shit. You're like, let's give Biden a pass here because there's certain circumstances. Could you believe what Trump's going to do? Dude. Wow. Being in the moment of a president doing something absolutely disgusting and crooked and shady and just like the worst thing a president could do for optics, especially with these preemptive pardons. And it's disgusting, and you're outraged and saddened by what's going to happen, but you're going to skip over this moment when Biden does it and not be upset with Biden. You're going to immediately skip over your outrage and be outraged at the fantasy of what Trump could possibly do after what Biden did. Why don't you take a breath and be upset about Biden and talk about how mad you are at Biden? No, let's go back to fantasy land. Let's go be deranged and think about the possibilities of Trump doing what Biden did. Wouldn't you be upset? Well, why aren't you upset now, you weirdo? Oh my God.
I ask you about these pardons early this morning from President Biden.
Well, the president and his team obviously think it is necessary. I think the result of it will be, it'd be a really interesting limousine ride and tea at the White House between President Biden, who decided this was necessary because of what he thinks about Donald Trump. So they're going to be sitting as close as we are, even closer. And this is to the very end, Biden versus Trump. Trump versus Biden. That has been the last 4 years of American life. It's been longer than that, actually, if you think about it. And so the president thinks this is necessary because of everything Donald Trump said during the campaign about retribution, about getting back at the people he thinks have been disloyal to him.
Or this guy just said, I challenge anyone out there, please do send me a video. Send me a video of Donald Trump saying, you know what, if I'm elected again, I'm gonna go after people that were disloyal to me. Anyone that wasn't loyal to me, I'm gonna go after them. Just send me the video. Send me a link. Let me know where that's at. Or is it more like Trump said Liz Cheney, other people that committed crimes, and he absolutely articulated his accusations of what he thought they did and why he thought that was against the law, and that there should be fair investigations into those crimes. Is that what he said? And you're just saying he what he means is he's gonna go after the people just because they were just disloyal. She was just because she was disloyal? Yeah, that's what it is. It's not the crimes that he specifically articulated, right? It's not that. It's just disloyal. Just because they didn't kiss his feet, he's gonna go after them. I mean, you guys all they just grow up. You guys are all just a bunch of big fat babies that didn't get your way. It's just really pathetic. The double standards talking out the side of your neck, it's just disgusting. It makes me so mad. I'm sure you could hear it in my voice. But let's try to finish this up. Alan Dershowitz has a different view on this. Okay. The difference between a pardon and a commutation is huge. And here, I'll let him explain. I'm not a lawyer, and like I already said, I'm pretty sure he knows more than you. So let's hear what he has to say about the pardon. Now, this video was posted. Now, all the links in the description will be down in the description. All my links are down in the description. Any source videos that you saw, I know you saw Mark Dice. I know you saw Black Conservative Perspective. You're going to see Stephen Gardner here in a second. All their videos that I pulled from will be down in the description. If you want to check out their videos, go click the links, check out their channels. I'm not stealing from them. I'm just sharing with them and using their stuff, whatever. It is what it is. But in the end, he posted this about a month ago, before the preemptive pardons for everyone else. This was after only Hunter received that preemptive pardon for that 11 years. And let's hear what Alan Dershowitz has to say about the difference between a pardon and a commutation. Biden's misstep with the commutation versus pardon.
I don't blame him for pardoning him. I think he made a tactical blunder. I think what he should have done is commuted the sentence, not pardoned him. He should have said, look, I don't want you to go to jail. You've been through addiction. So if you get a prison sentence, the prison sentence is going to be commuted to some form of home arrest or some probation or some treatment facility, something like that. By pardoning him, he opens up the possibility that Hunter Biden can be called in front of congressional committees, grand juries, investigative tribunals, etc. And he doesn't have a Fifth Amendment privilege anymore. If he would just commute it, if the sentence were commuted, he'd still have his privilege and self-incrimination. So in the end, it may backfire on the Biden family. He may become the star witness to Republican-controlled legislative hearings or judicial hearings or grand jury hearings conducted under the auspices of the new Attorney General of the United States.
We hear from Alan Dershowitz again because he made these statements whenever it was just Hunter Biden getting a blanket pardon. And I thought it was very interesting. Now, obviously, Biden doesn't have the option to give these blanket pardons. I don't know that you can give a blanket commutation in case there is. He clearly is trying to obstruct justice and not allow the crimes and their backdoor nonsense that they did against Trump to come out. They don't want that to happen. So with him pardoning these people, with Alan Dershowitz just using his logic and what he's saying, these people can still be pulled in front of committees. These people can still be pulled in front of Congress, the Senate, whatever the case is, and be investigated. Now, any new crimes, perjury, things like that, that stuff doesn't, obviously, those are new crimes. So they can investigate that. Now, as far as them looking into those things, I find it very interesting because I just want to hear more from him because he's a lawyer. He knows a little bit more about it, but I'm clearly not an expert. But at the same time, these people aren't going to go to jail for the horrific crimes they committed against us, the citizens, Trump, against the Republic, I'll say. They're not going to go to jail for it, but at the minimum, if they're pulled in front of committees and they're asked questions and they're not allowed to plead the fifth and they're not allowed to lie, or there'll be more investigations launched into them, at the very minimum, we will be able to at least expose the crimes that they did. Because this the obstruction of justice is what's making me mad. Because I at least want to know what Liz Cheney did wrong. I at least want to know what the Kitzinger did. I at least want to know what these people did. I at least want to know what the crimes were, so I know why the mercy came. We have to, if mercy came for them, we need to know what the crimes were, and they don't want to tell us that. They don't want to admit what they did, even to the point that with these pardons, they're saying we still didn't do anything wrong, though. For sure, we definitely didn't. I want that to be exposed. So at the minimum, I don't care that they don't go to jail. That's fine, but I can come to terms with that. But if they get pulled in front of committees, they can't lie, they can't plead the fifth, they have to tell the truth or be investigated and put in jail for perjury and receive all that stuff. At the minimum, there should be no reason that Trump isn't able to extract exactly what these crimes were and expose it to the American people, because we'll believe him. We don't believe these people anymore. I'll believe Trump. Trump shows us, lets us know, done. Forget about it. Now, all this stuff that Alan's talking about was more so directed towards Hunter Biden, but a lot of this stuff is still applying to these other people that receive these blanket pardons for a set period of time. I believe the same things he's saying are going to apply to them. And then let's just hear what else he has. He talks about civil lawsuits, and that has nothing to do with those pardons. So how can that be applied to, trying to witness tamper, things like that? Can these witnesses sue her? And we can expose these crimes, and they could be sued civilly. I'm a little bit interested in that. I don't know exactly how her witness tampering went and how that went, but I'm just using that as an example. I'm not sure that that's a good one, but you see what I'm saying.
Okay, I want to go deeper into that, but first, is there any red flag for you that he pardoned him for basically everything, and then this long 11-year time frame?
I think that's what the family wanted him to do, but it exposes him to being asked questions about the Burisma and about Ukraine. He can also be civilly sued still. Remember that the Trump administration could take a page from Letitia James. She couldn't find anything to go after Donald Trump for criminally, so she sued him civilly and got a $500 million judgment against him. That's open. Pardon doesn't apply to civil lawsuits. So his problems are not over. Now,
yeah, I don't know. I just find that very interesting. I would expect the Trump team and whoever's in his corner to already be working these avenues after he gets done. I'm sure he's gonna have a very busy first couple days. I'll have some more videos coming out about some of his executive orders and some other things that he's doing. That's just winning, man, just winning. The last thing we're gonna hear is Alan talking about. So I just find it interesting about the civil lawsuit. Is just it's I can see something coming of this. And then the last thing we'll hear him talk about is state prosecutions. Is there a possibility now? Those pardons are only for federal crimes. Is there a possibility that witness tampering and things like that could that be could they be prosecuted on a state level? I don't know. I don't know. Let's hear what he says, and then I'll leave that up, and I'll leave that open to people smarter than me, I guess.
yes, the Fifth Amendment only applies to self-incrimination. That is, to testimony that is a link in the chain of prosecuting the individual. It doesn't apply to incriminating your father, incriminating your brother, incriminating your uncle, you're incriminating anybody else. So they are free to ask him any questions about anything that is covered by the pardon. And he could probably still claim maybe he's vulnerable to state prosecutions. After all, when you cheat on your federal income taxes, you generally also cheat on your state income taxes. But the statute of limitations may have expired on that.
So just like you said, you lose your Fifth Amendment when you're pardoned. Not with commutations, they could have Hunter could have been saved. I don't think the preemptive commutations. I don't know. I mean, preemptive pardons isn't even a thing. This is brand new, so I don't think a preemptive commutation would have been helpful to anyone. Um, I don't think these people are necessarily scared that Trump's going to put them in jail and they'll never see the light of day again. I think they're just worried about their careers. They're worried about losing money. They're worried about, they're worried about saving face. They did a bunch of dirty work for the deep state, and the deep state promised to protect them from prosecution. The deep state promised them that if they did the dirty work, they would not get in trouble. And they thought they would win. They thought they would do whatever they needed to do to make sure Trump didn't get in office. That didn't happen. The timeline, when they tried killing him, the timeline branched off. It broke. I started smelling new car scent and realized that we are broken free from the old timeline, and the new timeline has been created. I got some other videos about the inauguration already out. I got some, you know, got some good ones. Maybe someone will notice me, senpai. Maybe someone will notice me one day and be like, "Hey, dude, you don't have any subscribers and you're working really hard. Your videos, you're a little weird, but like, man, you got some decent information. You got all the information other people got, plus some, plus a little bit of, I don't know. I got that little bit of that retarded scent to me, don't I? Do I? Am I a little bit? Am I a little retarded? I don't know. Either way, I'll find my tribe eventually. You'll find me. Everything will be okay. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
The dangerous night. The night.